I told you the story about how I became a trainer and about my sick kids. But I want to back up a little further and share another story with all of you today. My husband and I celebrated our 12th wedding anniversary in June. And I had always, I think it was you with the blonde. I think you're the one that said that you had always wanted to be a mommy. Well, my lifelong dream was I wanted to get married and I wanted to have kids, and I was like the mom that would, or not the mom, I was the little girl that would practice with my dolls, and I'd change their clothes every day, and you know, I would have diapers on them and stuff, and I wanted to get married by the time I was 19, and I wanted to have my first kid by the time I was 21. So at the ripe old age of 22, when I did get married, I thought I was like an old maid. I was like, thank you, God, you didn't forget about me. I was 22. But I also had another dream. And it came about the time I was in junior high. And I felt like the Lord, I would like see it in my head. I used to watch, when I'm 12 years old, I used to watch television preachers. And I used to love to watch, I think it was Gloria Copeland. And I was like, God, I want to do that someday. I want to get up and I want to teach your word. And that is, I could just see it in my head. And my wedding day comes. And this lady comes up to me after the ceremony, and she's like, Angela, I wanted to tell you, I had 3 dreams on the same night, back to back, that you died. And I'm like, well, happy wedding day to me, thanks. And I'm like, okay. And she said, and each time I woke up praying for you. And she said, and then I heard the Lord say that it meant a dying to yourself, to your dreams and to your visions, to follow the call of your husband and of your family. And I thought she was crazy. Because I'm like, hey, I'm married now. We're going to have kids. We're going to be great ministers together. And our kids are going to be right there with us. And it's going to be awesome, lady. You don't know what you're talking about. And then I got a reality check. Because Josiah was born 14 months after we got married. And we were broke. My husband was a youth pastor at the time. And he worked 2 other jobs so that I could stay home with our son. So he's gone a lot. And Josiah was one of those babies that screamed all night long. Didn't, you hear me? Didn't sleep through the night once till he was like 11 months old. And I'm awake and I'm crying. Oh, and on top of that, he's got the asthma and the breathing issues. Well, we make several ministry moves. My husband then moves, and we're in New Mexico, and he's a worship pastor. In this mix, we add in 2 more children. And have y'all ever had one of those like mom stories that like everyone else thinks it's funny and it still makes you like break down and cry? Well, we lived down in Temple, like we just did this ministry crazy cycle, but we lived down in Temple, Texas. And at this time, we only had 2. And Roman goes on a pastor's conference to California. So he's on the beach. And my children both choose that time to come down with rotavirus, which if you know, it's green, it's stinky, and it comes from both ends at the same time. So I've got a 10-month-old and a 3-year-old with rotavirus. And my husband is in California, and I have no family that lives around me. And I had been changing the sheets on the 10-month-old. I was having to change his sheets like 3 times a night because it would just go everywhere. So I'm in his room and I hear him for like the 4th time that night. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I get up, and as soon as I pick him up, all down the front of me. And I'm like, what do I do? It's in the bed, it's on him, it's on me, and he's in California. And I'm like, so I stand in the shower, both of us are like in the shower, because I don't know what else to do. And still to this day, Roman is not allowed to tell me about the California trip. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I wouldn't let him talk about it when he got back. I didn't want to hear it. So at this point in my life, I feel invisible. And I feel like my sole purpose in life is to wipe bottoms and carry my husband's guitar case. And my family has this joke, everybody loves Roman. Because like everywhere we go, they're like, oh, Roman, he's so awesome. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm toting his kids and following him around. And I'm just like, people call me the blonde lady. Our kids were sick so much that sometimes a lot of times we couldn't even make it to church. So I was just the blonde lady. People didn't even know he was married. And I realized that the lady at our wedding that day was right. It was a death to self. And I know I have a video I'm going to show you guys, and you may have already seen it, but it has a point, okay? So if you've already seen it, just bear with me. We'll go back to this if you want to copy them later.
Get up now, get up out of bed. Wash your face, brush your teeth, comb your sleepy head. Here's your clothes and your shoes, hear the words I said. Get up now, get up and make your bed. Are you hot, are you cold, are you wearing that? Where's your books and your lunch and your homework at? Grab your coat and your gloves and your scarf and hat. Don't forget, you gotta feed the cat. Eat your breakfast, the experts tell us it's the most important meal of all. Take your vitamins so you will grow up one day to be big and tall. Just remember the orthodontist will be seeing you at 3 today. Don't forget your piano lesson is this afternoon, so you must play, don't shovel. Choose slowly, but hurry, the bus is here. Be careful, come back here. Did you wash behind your ears? Play outside, don't play rough. Would you just play fair? Be polite, make a friend, don't forget to share. Work it out, wait your turn, never take a dare. Get along, don't make me come down there. Clean your room, fold your clothes, put your stuff away. Make your bed, do it now. Do we have all day? Were you born in a barn? Would you like some hay? Can you even hear a word I say? Answer the phone, get off the phone. Don't sit so close, turn it down. No texting at the table. No more computer time tonight. Your iPod's my iPod if you don't listen up. Where you going and with whom and what time do you think you're coming home? Saying thank you, please, excuse me makes you welcome everywhere you roam. You'll appreciate my wisdom someday when you're older and you're grown. Can't wait till you have a couple little children of your own. You'll thank me for the counsel I gave you so willingly, but right now I thank you not to roll your eyes at me. Close your mouth when you chew. We'd appreciate. Take a bite, maybe 2 of the stuff you hate. Use your fork, do not burp, or I'll set you straight. Eat the food I put up on your plate. Get an egg at the door. Don't get smart with me. Get a grip. Get in here on count 2, 3. Get a job. Get a life. Get a PhD. Get a go. So I don't care who started. You're grounded until you're 36. Get your story straight and tell the truth for once, for heaven's sake. And if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you jump too? If I've said it once, I've said at least 1,000 times before that you're too old to act this way. It must be your father's DNA. Look at me when I am talking, stand up straighter when you walk a place for everything, and everything must be in place. Stop crying or I'll give you something real to cry about. Oh! Brush your teeth, wash your face, get your PJs on, get in bed, get a hug, say a prayer with Mom. Don't forget, I love you. And tomorrow we will do this all again because the moms work never ends. You don't need the reason why. Because I said so, I said so, I said so, I said so. I'm the mom, the mom, the mom, the mom, the mom. Ta-da! Just glad you can breathe.
Okay, so our pastor showed that on Mother's Day one year. And everyone laughed, but I got the same look that some of you had when I played it. And I broke down and I had a meltdown in the middle of church and I had to walk out. And I was bawling and my husband's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, that is my life. And then it starts again tomorrow. I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed and I have lost my identity and I just feel overwhelmed with what it takes to be a wife and a mom, and I just feel like I'm in that cycle that goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm having a meltdown in the middle of church over that video that's supposed to be funny. And around that time, I had decided to study to become the personal trainer. And I was starting to have vision again for myself. And the question I brought to the Lord was, Lord, is it time to launch yet? So one Sunday at church, I went up and I asked a lady to pray with me about it. And I'll never forget what she said. She said, Angela, you have the rest of your life to pursue ministry and a career, but those babies only fit on your lap for so long. So here's the thing. I was able to be... Y'all better stop it! I was able to become a trainer and to write a book. And now I'm finally having the opportunity to be able to speak at different places. And this year, all of my children are in school. I sent my baby to kindergarten. And I have to tell you, ladies, it's awesome. I can clean without anyone hanging on my leg. I can get in the shower and no one's banging on the door. Yesterday at 10:30, I took a bath just because I wanted to. And I shaved my entire leg, not just a kidney. And it was like really awesome. I can meet a friend at 11 o'clock for coffee. And I can come here and I can speak to you guys. But the first day of school, when I sat down to lunch and I was all by myself, I broke down. And I just had this big long cry, because let me tell you, they only fit in your lap for so long. And I just wanted to encourage you guys that you are never just a mom. Never. I don't know why I have notes, can't even see them. When you guys take the time to read a book, to cook a healthy meal, to wash clothes, to teach manners, you are raising kingdom warriors, and everything you do right now matters. A couple weeks ago, my oldest son was looking at my shopping list, and he goes, "You can get chicken broth in a can?" And that made my day, because it told me that it mattered, and that my kids actually did realize that their mom takes the time to make their food. A couple days ago, usually my husband's the one that wakes the kids up because I'm cooking breakfast. But I went in and woke him up the other day, and my middle son went, "Mom, I'm glad when you woke me up because you're all soft and snuggly, and Dad just turns on the light and rips the covers off." And then my youngest son, my 5-year-old, I really worked with my kids on making their beds every morning. Well, my 5-year-old gets his bed made, and he lines up his animals and his pillows on his bed. And I just wrote him a little note one day, and I said, "Jacob, thank you for making your bed. I'm so proud of you, and I love you." And he took that little note and he puts it on his bed every day now. And I'm going to tell you that those 3 things mean more to me than a published book, than a speaking engagement, or successful clients in a gym. And I know it takes a lot of hard work and discipline that often goes unnoticed to be a mom. But I really felt like the Lord wanted me to tell each of you, and I want you to take it individually, that He notices. And that He's doing kingdom work through you every single day. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest." So again, I'm just going to go now and apologize later, but I want all of you, and if there's only 2 of you, so join somewhere else, but I want all of you to just take time right now, and I want y'all to be honest with each other about the struggles you feel as a mom, because I know there were times that I was like, what the heck did I want to do this my whole life for? And then I felt guilty for thinking that. And I was like, I'm sorry, God, don't let anything happen to my family. And I just want y'all to be honest with each other, and I want you to pray for each other, because nobody knows what you're going through more than the people that are in this room next to you. So if you guys will do that right now, just focus on spiritually healthy homes. Because it's important to have your home physically healthy, but above all, moms have to be on top of their game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you've got to be spiritually and emotionally healthy to do that. So if you don't mind, if you're like someone that doesn't like to pray out loud, then nominate the person in your group that does, because I promise you there's at least someone that doesn't mind praying out loud. But if y'all will just, is that okay? Y'all good with that? I know, so I guess not all of you know each other really well, but you're about to. Okay, I'm almost done. Just going to end with a verse that God gave me personally this week, but I think it applies, the second half of it applies to you guys. And it's from Luke chapter 10, starting in verse 1, and it says, "After these things, the Lord appointed 70 others also, and sent them 2 by 2 before his face into every city and place where he himself was about to go. Then he said to them, 'The harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest.'" So the first part of that passage is something the Lord showed me for myself as I prayed. And like I said, I'm just now getting to the point where I can have a little bit more vision for myself outside of my home. And he said, in that verse it said, he sent them before his face to every city he was about to go. And he said, "I'm going to send you to places that I'm preparing to visit." And so moms, that means that God has a special visitation that he's planning for you. But here's the thing. Jesus passed many people that didn't realize he was there. So you have to be able to get quiet and wait for that visitation. But the second part of the verse, I really feel like is for all of you. And it says, "The harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." In building healthy homes, in every sense of the word, you're raising up those little harvesters into the Lord's kingdom harvest. Because let me tell you, the world's not doing it. It's what we're doing right now. We're taking these little guys. They're the kingdom harvesters, and everything that we're doing matters. So I'm going to pray for you guys, and then if you want to talk some more, or I know I was supposed to stick to more of a health topic, but had to go the direction I felt. So we're going to pray, and if you have health questions or whatever, we'll talk about it after. Father, I thank you so much for a room full of moms, because Lord, I know the pain, I know the struggle, I know the doubt, I know the feeling of inadequacy that comes into their minds every single day. And I pray, Lord, that you would be their rest, that you would be their strength and their support. You are the ever-present help in times of trouble. I pray that you show each and every one of them specifically how to raise each child individually, Lord, for your kingdom. I pray, Father, that you would move on them in a special way, and that you would cause this group to not just be a group that comes to have a little break from the mundane life, but that they would come here and encourage each other, pray for each other, and that they would together raise up a generation of kids that will see your kingdom come. And I thank you for this. It's in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm done, unless y'all wanted to talk.